and I wanted to talk about earthing, grounding, grounded, all of that. So I've got what I call the Truth Mobile, and I'm out here at the Cherry Grove Fishing Pier area in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, fixing to go out surfing for a little bit. But what I wanted to do is talk to you all about some really important information. On my research library, I've got included what I would call powerful artificial intelligence, a research library that includes but is not limited to my YouTube playlist. Censorship that's going on with YouTube right now. And one of my workarounds with that is to help people interact in this reality, in this world. Excuse me. Still spitting. And drinking highly purified, carbon filtered, solar activated water whenever possible. One of the dynamics too is that when I'm bathing in that same type of reverse osmosis carbon filtered drinking water, I will typically add a third of a cup of borax, baking soda, and magnesium sulfate. Now, borax is actually boron. It's an element. All of those elements have electrical properties. You can look it up if you want to. And what I've done is I've taken an extension cord and modified that the cord to cut off it's a 3-prong. I've cut off the 2 prongs. I've just left the middle prong. and what I'll do with that is I've got it connected into my bathtub. So when I'm bathing in that highly purified water with electrolytes in it, there's conductivity. When I get in the bathtub, it's about 110 degrees. And I've got 2 reverse osmosis carbon filtered drinking water systems. One that fills up my bathtub, and then another that I can use in the kitchen. I can produce about 150 gallons a day if I need to. And right now, there's a bath is like 30 gallons or so that I use. And so what I'll do is I'll heat it up in stainless steel on my electric stove. Not so easy to do that in Texas right now, is it? What's going on is criminal, I believe. In commemoration of electrical manipulation, I put Fun with Dick and Jane, a parody about the Enron scandal. And then you can see the connectivity of the Good Old Boys Network, all that goes along with that. Apparently Skilling retired on August the 14th of 2001, shortly before the events of 9/11 of 2001. Interestingly enough, there were 3 buildings that fell in Manhattan, and one of them was Building 7, towards the end of the day when there was a premature annunciation from a reporter from, I believe, the BBC made an announcement that Building 7 fell behind her, and it was still standing there. Interesting, isn't it? So a lot of things that we're told are not true. Now, the video at the top of my list right now is about earthing, grounding our body electrically. The water temperature out there in the ocean is in the 40s. The ambient air temperature this morning here in South Carolina, where I live, is it was in the low 30s, low to mid 30s here. There was a little ice around, not much though. So yesterday it was 66 degrees and sunny. It was gorgeous. I've got friends in Texas that are experiencing quite a bit of cold and not enough electricity to keep themselves from, some people will freeze to death, I'm sure. Some are going to die from a variety of reasons: panic, being frozen out in vehicles, that type of thing, or carbon monoxide poisoning can occur if there's not enough air circulation, not enough fresh air, and too much carbon monoxide. So what I found out, I've been a reservoir of information my whole life. I've wanted to know why. And why isn't just a question, it can be a proclamation. The reason why we're having so much difficulty in the world today is it's intentionally created. Anthropomorphic, or I guess I would say man-caused climate change has to do with weather manipulation. You can hashtag Weather Wars 101. HAARP would be one of the technologies that's been used. There are others like the NEXRAD radar and of course conductive material that is ubiquitous in our environment. It's in the food, water, and air. Nanoparticulate that can be electrically activated. On the earthing video, it talks about people being grounded to the earth, reduces inflammation, helps with mitigating depression, and all of that. I've known about earthing for over 10 years. What I did about a decade ago was I took aluminum foil, a strip of it, and wrapped it around the sandals that I would wear. And so it was conductive between, I could have cushion and still have an earthing effect. Also, going on the wet grass is good. Now that I've got the garage cleaned out and I can park the Truthmobile in the garage at night, and it gives me an added level of security. And when I'm toweling off in the morning, I've got rather than using, I've got a dark colored towel like this, but it's microfiber. So rather than have a big old cloth towel, I'll use this microfiber towel to give me that youthful appearance, and a Pro Glide, slough off the dead skin and use a Gillette Pro Glide. It really does a great job shaving. What does that have to do with anything? Well, it's cutting off the epidermis, the layers of the skin on the top. And also there's electrical properties that are picked up from the sun. A lot of vitamin D, a lot of energy. I don't have a shortage of energy at all. And what I was saying about wanting to know why and researching and all that is I've wanted to know why, and I had parents that would answer my questions as best they could. And my dad was a genius and invented things, and I worked with him on that as well, like the first mulching mower as far as I know. But anyway, he took that to the manufacturers that he called on as a steel sales representative, raw materials, selling stainless steel and other exotic metals that would be implemented into race cars, military industrial complex providers like Oshkosh Truck that makes the MRAP, a diesel help, and potential death, depending on where it's deployed and what it's doing. So I remember when Nixon was getting impeached in the 70s, my dad looked like Get Smart on Don Knotts on the Get Smart show. And he told me, he came out of an elevator down underground in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, at Manitowoc Engineering, where they had TBMs, tunnel boring machines. And the tunnel boring machines, he said, Bobby, they were so big, they put them on the front end of a locomotive. And they were boring tunnels in the ground. And they were so big that they couldn't be trucked, worldwide, but they could be shipped worldwide. So they would take them from there to Sturgeon Bay and put them on a ship and take them anywhere in the world on the ocean. One of the reasons why I'm spitting when I lay my head back in the water and blow the air out of my sinuses, the water goes back in there. Imagine 110 degree conductive, highly purified, electrolyte filled water. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even profile this after anybody else doing it. And that you might say, well, heck, why would anybody else want to do that? Well, what I want to say is I'm kind of like a MacGyver of wanting to work around things and kind of putting things together so that, you know, I can do the best I can with what resources I have to work with. Okay, so the electrolyte and grounding the body, like when I'm in that highly purified water that has those electrolytes in it, and I use a microfiber towel to slough off the dead skin, it also, like, not just on my face but everywhere, makes my body pick up sun really good. So like yesterday when I was grilling some tuna in the backyard, even though it was windy, we had 28 miles an hour wind where I was. My wind chimes were a-singing. Anyway, what ended up happening is that there was a whirlwind around on the back deck or porch where I was, and I was in a little bit of a protected area, so I could get a lot of sun, plenty of fresh air. It was awesome. Anyway, all that being said, there are ways that we can do things. It was kind of like a microclimate of sorts, and that worked out really good. I think I might be picking up a little too much heat there. I'm not sure. Definitely picking up a little bit of moisture in here, and I'm getting kind of hot. So it's going to feel very invigorating when I get out into the ocean. And so even though I'm wearing a wetsuit with the Truth logo shirt on, of course, it's going to be wonderful. And so I'm going to be grounded to the earth out there as well. We're electric beings. I hashtag, I believe, Nikola Tesla here as well. If you click on the hashtag of Nikola Tesla, there's a lot of results, a lot of mystery around the history regarding Nikola Tesla. I didn't hear about him in school. I heard about him about a decade ago. I got a huge download of a lot of information, including the mystery with the 9/11 history. How about that? So I'm telling a story through my playlist. I had somebody reach out to me in the wee hours of the morning saying, Robert, are you okay? Are you still on YouTube? I said, I'm doing excellent, and sent them my playlist. What I've put together is an amalgamation of information from blockchain technology, and Bettina Warburg did a masterful job of presenting how our mutual distrust is actually a catalyst that serves to make the blockchain work so well, and the technological advancements with that. I want to digress back a moment on the hot, powerful detoxification spa treatment that I'm doing. When that water goes in, it releases contaminants that the mucous membrane has trapped. That's a big deal, because some of those nanoparticles are meant to connect the brain to the computer system of the world. The artificial intelligence, it's almost like, I believe it's like a misnomer. Artificial intelligence would maybe more aptly be described as machine learning technology, smart machines. However, most people would recognize artificial intelligence. Some would recognize it as alien technology. It's like out of this world. And it actually accesses hidden features of nature, like Geordie Rose talks about, like it's just very interesting the way that these computer systems are programming and manipulating humanity, the weather, the financial system, all the purchasing, all the influence that that purchasing power can command, can marshal. And so there's a huge emphasis on my channel with machine learning, technological advancements, Morpheus talking to Neo. Is this real? How do you define real? If real is what you can see, taste, and touch, then real is simply electrical impulses interpreted by your brain. The channel, The Take, did a masterful job of describing some of the allegorical and metaphorical examples utilized in the movie series, The Matrix. And so there's a tremendous amount of information on my channel that could be a starting point, including a simulated reality channel. That may sound a bit weird, but here's part of how it works. When Amazon remembers what you bought, what you looked at, and can show you and anticipate what you may want to order this next time, that's all got to do with machine learning. And it's learning us. And an individual digital us has been created that not only tracks every keystroke we've ever made with our little fingers. We might have thought we were sneaking with the VPN. Who do you think creates the virtual privacy network? Do you think that the computers that created that are saying, hey, avoid surveillance, do you think it not knows how to encrypt and unencrypt? Hello. Just think about it. So in school, we're taught what to think, not how to think. Analytical deductive reasoning is instrumental in determining if there's contradictory perspectives, they can't both be correct. They may, in fact, both be wrong. They may both be deceptive. So I've upset some people in this stationary level world, Earth, and that's okay. I'm upsetting the right people, the deceivers, and the deceived by nature are also perpetuating that deception. It doesn't matter if they're the richest person in the world. If they're deceived, they're perpetuating that deception as well. So what I would simply say is I'm not intimidated by anybody's resources, who they get to do what with. They may have a celebrity partner they can parade to the rest of humanity, and an actual lifestyle that indicates that they got it going on. Now, I've just been sitting here, and I don't know if you can see what just started happening, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to flip this around and show you how this kind of works. So we've got the sun up here, and now we've got the sun blasting off of the front of the Prince Resort, the tower over there. There's a swimming pool right below that light beam. Interesting. And that sun that's hitting that is extremely intense, by the way. Now, one of my extended videos, I talked about Jeff Bezos, who offered $10 billion for greening up our world, living systems, and energy reduction, and energy actually creating a more clean environment for everybody. I'm all in favor of that. Concrete construction, insulated concrete panel construction I talked about. It's a foam core with concrete inside and outside, and there's a metal truss in between. It can withstand 300-mile-an-hour winds, wildfires, earthquakes, hurricanes, flooding even. You can put that panel deep in the ground and evacuate the earth from underneath there, so you can have an additional opportunity space. And then because of the structure, it's ballistically rated for, depending on the thickness you want to go, it's amazing. Serious weapons can't blast through it. Anyway, so in the in the context of creating a home that is energy efficient, a home built with that insulated panel concrete construction with like a 9,000 psi concrete will also draw the ground, the negative ions from the earth, and bring it up into the walls. If you put your hand on a metal pipe that's stuck in the ground, you're grounded. If you're walking barefoot on the ocean, you're grounded. When I'm toweling off and all I have is my towel and me, what I'll end up doing is I can walk out into the garage and I'm grounded on the concrete floor. Or in the foyer, I'm grounded on the ceramic tile. The other thing that you can do is, like on my MacBook Pro, it's got the 3-prong cord. It's plugged in there, and a metal chassis. Also can be grounded that way as well. I believe, now I'm not sure if the electronics are insulated from the ground of the internal computer. I'm not exactly sure on that. I get grounded a lot. The other thing you can do, you can watch the video, earthing, and you could stick a ground stake out in the yard and run a wire in, or just plug a ground wire into the 3-prong cord in your house. They've got silver fiber that you can weave, that products that are actually made, grounding mats. So like if you work in a high rise or just in a little studio somewhere, wherever, you can plug it into the wall, and if the ground circuitry is operating properly, you'll be grounded there too. They've got, so it's a real thing. It's a real thing, and it's an effective thing. Imagine if instead of having an opiate addiction and living in the ozone in La La Land, what if just walking on the beach or going out into your yard or bathing in water that's grounded? The reason, like in my bathtub, one of the reasons why I've got the ground wire running in there, it's a composite tub on an insulated pad with poly PVC plumbing connecting the wastewater, the drain, and the water feed. So it's insulated from the earth, but not the water, because I've got the water grounded. Highly purified water with 0 parts per million is not conductive by definition. 0 TDC is 0 conductivity. A Myron-L meter or a TDS meter, you can test it out. I've been drinking purified water for years, many years, most of my life. I've got a pine cone that's about that big. It's in one of my videos. It came from California. It was on the coast there. Belonged to some trees that are really big, like really tall. Anyway, you know, like hundreds and hundreds of feet. So the pineal gland is one of the references, the pine cone that people look at. It's not a new age weird thing. It could be, but it's not for me. I don't want any added crap in my brain. I want healthy nutrients, I want purified water, and I want my electrical system to be operating properly. Hashtag Nikola Tesla. Think of this world in terms of frequency, energy systems. We've got the northern lights that you can see, the aurora borealis. There's some mystery with other auroras as well, like they say the southern hemisphere. Well, consider this. Putting a flagpole in a welcome center and a sign that says geographic South Pole doesn't make it so. Now, does it? Think of the Truman Show. It could be a lot of different places. It could actually be the North Pole for all those people know. They're like in Norway and other locations where I've got time-lapse video showing the beauty and majesty of creation and the aurora borealis. And many of us have seen the star trails where the whole thing turns in a big circle and the pole stars in the middle. Well, if you want to take a look on my channel, there's beautiful, relaxing video that shows that whole system moving and in a time lapse. So you can see that. You can see the whole sky moving, the firmament. So the actual, there would never ever be level anywhere if we were on a spinning water ball hurling through space. The simplicity of water, the water in my glass, the water that covers the face of the earth, indicates that we're on a stationary level plane. What is the shape of the puddle? Whatever the shape of the container is. Hashtag firmament. They can't go to the moon as far as I know. It may actually be in the atmosphere. It may be plasma. I'm not sure. I've been taking video of the sun and the moon for years. I've got a photo album on my Facebook you can observe, you can comment on if you like. Zoomed in with the Nikon Coolpix P1000. It zooms in 125 times. So on a full moon, it looks like the Earth or the moon is round. However, at the different phases of the moon, it's obviously not completely spherical, just like the Earth isn't spherical. That may be a downer for you, but I'll tell you what, the reality of the truth equals reality, reality equals truth. So-called artificial intelligence, machine learning knows a lot. God knows it all. What God? The living word, the living water, the great I am, the Alpha and Omega, the one who created this world. Okay? So, did you know that water is combustible? Oh yeah, there's a fire coming. We had a flood that covered this face of the stationary and level Earth. Like I said, keep in mind there would never ever be level anywhere if the Earth were